Welcome, everyone, to Masters Muscle, episode 24. Our guest tonight has been competing for over 40 years, starting in 1985, give or take, and received her pro card at the 2012 NPC Universe. And like you, Vin, she just keeps getting better and better and better. Vin,
Yeah,
please.
she's kind of taught me a little bit. You know, it took me 16 years to turn pro. It took her 25.
Yeah, it took me 25. Literally, it was crazy.
So Michelle, let's start from the beginning. How did you get into competing, and how has it morphed into what you're doing now?
Well, I was always an athlete, Vinny, and I just in high school, college, I did sports, so I always had that athletic background, and I had kind of a base of muscle base. Back then, the women didn't really, go in weight rooms and maybe towards into college, a little bit of the weight room stuff, but really the base of my physique was just, they say genetics, but I guess, genetics and my athletic background. So I just didn't know what I wanted to do after college. Okay, I knew, I always had to do something because I did sports. I did tennis, I did softball, volleyball, the whole 9 yards. So I saw it, believe it or not, I saw it one day, 1985, on TV. And it was Corey Everson, and I believe it was still Rachel, she like took over, her title. Was it Rachel to Corey? Anyway, it was 85. And I said, I could do that. I knew I had muscle. So ironically, the story, how I got involved in it and the push to do it was this fellow that was the guy of the time. His name was Tom Sims. Tom Sims, remember his name. And I used to work at a cookie place, like this little, like Grandma Buffalo's kind of place in this mall. And he would come like once a month, like, I must have been his cheat. I don't know. So I knew he was I saw his muscular, and he would look at me. And so I was funny because I had a gal that was worked with, and she wanted to go to do the little aerobics, back then. I said, okay, sure, I'll go with you. And then there he was, and him and his wife, they were the couple of the, they used to have couple. Remember when they used to have couples, Vinny?
Yep.
So they did discover me in the gym. They said, hey, you could do, this bodybuilding thing. And I said, really? And it was, 1985. It's crazy. And it was like this show that was local, but it wasn't sanctioned by NPC, but it was a big show. It was called the Santa Cruz Championships. So they said, oh yeah, you could do the show. 3 weeks, So go, yeah, just do some cardio. Back then we didn't have these trainers, we have, the knowledge we have of nutrition today. So it's like, oh, just eat, carrots and eat some egg whites and just do cardio because you got a decent amount of muscle. And I did already had a good little base. And I'm like, oh, okay. I did this show and the rest is history. I loved it. I mean, the part that I really liked, ironically, was the performance part, because you do all the grunt work in the gym, and I thought, well, God, I did sports. We did, performance of throwing the ball, the volleyball. But it's like, what do we do with this bodybuilding? So when it was a performance thing, I had always wanted to be. I love dancing, and I took a ton of dance classes. I said, okay, well, I have the best of both worlds. I could, be muscular and do what I do with weights, and then I could, have fun, with this little performance thing. And it was crazy. It was like, I just got on stage, and either you don't like the stage or you do. And I was like, yay, I'm having a good time. Right? And I didn't even make top 5. There was like 14 girls. I didn't even know what, So, but I really fell in love with it. It was just like, that addiction, just started. And that was 1985, actually. So then 86 was when I was officially went with the NPC. And golly, the rest is history. I did my first nationals way back, 1986. There was 30 girls. Those were the days.
Wow.
I had a lineup of 10 girls, not crossing over and all, just 30 of us on stage.
How did you place in that?
Oh God, I remember my history so well. So I get there, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. I'm like, holy shit. So we're lining up. And then, how you do, how they do, 8, 10, whatever. So at the very end, there was 3 of us. It was me and these 2 other gals. And I'm like, oh, wow, what's this? So we had to go through the mandatories. So come to find out, that was the selection for the 15th person. So I didn't make it. So I was like,
Wow.
okay, go home. So of course I watched the show and got excited about it. I still had a good time because, I'm naive, the first time, but literally I didn't make top 15 because it was 15 and then you're done, goodbye. You don't even do the prejudging, back then. It was like you did those little mandatories just to see where you fit, if you're going to fit in. And then you're gone, they kick the door behind you. But I had a good time, I was always an athlete, like I said. So it was like, okay, I'm not, I'm pissed off. I'm not going to do this anymore. It's just a running thing that, has came and went in my life. No, I was like, okay, I'm determined now. I'm determined. And then I just kept on going. 87, I ended up, I was married at the time and had my son. So I got pregnant. So I was like, okay, that's fine. That's good. I'll come back the next year. Literally, Vinny, the next 6 months, my son was 6 months. I even have a picture of it. I got to muster it up and show you. But 6 months after I had him, I was on stage again. And then I was qualified for nationals. And then that was 87, 86, 88. And then I didn't, because just monetarily and whatnot, I didn't do a national show because, it just was not affordable.
Sure. Yeah.
But I kept on going. 80, and then 89, it just, I ended up getting divorced, unfortunately. My son was only 14 months, but hey, I had my family, the Italian family, we were all behind me. And I stayed with my mom for about a year and I regrouped, but I kept on going. 89, I did the USA, first USA. Oh my God, Bill, my husband was in that. He told me later, he goes, oh yeah, I remember, how could you remember me? But that was the year too. I've seen so much. That was a year that they decided they were going to drug test.
Oh, interesting.
The girls were starting to get a little bigger. Who was Ms. Olympia at that time? Linda? Not Linda.
Probably Corey.
Corey was still. Yeah, Corey was still. So she had a good, that good aura around her that was like, okay, this is, attainable type thing. But they, for some reason, in the national level, like anything evolves. So the girls were getting bigger. So they had this drug testing, right? So it was in Raleigh. So the way they selected it was they picked you. They didn't do it like out of the hat. They looked at you and like, okay, you're, being tested. So I was one of the ones, but I passed. Yeah, it was really wild. I was one of the ones, and so that was. I think it lasted like a couple of years doing that. But then throughout the years, 90, 91, I concentrated on the North American, and it was always either the North American, USA, Nationals. I tried, always coming in second. It came in second. I think I told you, Vinny, second, 6. People don't know my history. 6 times in the North American, second.
Jeez.
6 times.
Wow.
6. And
now,
then,
in between all of that, were you doing any regional shows?
I did. Okay. Well, since I was always qualified for nationals, there was really no reason because you know how you get the 2-year window for the nationals. I would do. This was funny because I would do, say, John Lindsay, who retired now. Mel Gindy's took them over at the muscle contest. His Excalibur, I think it was called. And it was after the nationals. So I said, okay, well, I'm already qualified, but let's just, I would never win his show because I would always end up being a heavyweight because, I couldn't make my middleweight at the time. And I just went into it just to try to trophy hunt. I would never win. It was funny. But there was only a few in between that I had done. But it was always, every year, the nationals, every year, trying to get that damn pro card. And you know how it was where we had to win overall. I mean, you had to win your class. There was 3 earlier in my career, but then they went back to the fourth the light heavyweight. And that's where I ended up. Because the muscle-wise, it's just naturally, the thickness of my joints, I was always a natural light heavy anyway. But 90, 91, I think I did 91, 92. I did the North American again. And they had a Mexican promoter at the time, Javier Pollock, and he actually had it in LA. We didn't have to go to Mexico, but with 94, 90, let's see, just more USAs. USA was always, I never could quite get that second, I was always like third, fourth. Nationals, come the nationals now. So I had the fellow at the time I was with. He was into bodybuilding, and he's like, okay, let's, he knew, he learned my body. So it was like, now it was getting serious. Now we're going to learn how to really, work on weaknesses, nutrition better, lifting, better. So 80, that was 99, 98, 97. So 97 was the USA. 98, now we go to the Nationals, third place. Okay, now we're top five, we're getting there. We're looking fuller. We're looking, like like I could be a pro. So 99 comes along. 98, okay, 99, second place. The girl that won, I was actually a little bit more muscular, but she was really ripped. Her name was Bill Macias. So second, okay, yeah, okay. Now I'm geared up. I'm geared up for the Nationals next year. You know how it goes, where you kind of build yourself up.
Yep.
Get there, New York. Bill was actually there. Didn't make the class. I couldn't make the class. There was the fellow, the guy was at the time. He wasn't there until the next day, and he knew how to do, manipulate my body to get, to drop the water. I had this friend that was a pro, and she was helping me, and it didn't work out. Oh my God, we were trying to run the steps. We were doing that crazy stuff. Didn't make the class. So heartbreaking. And that probably would have been my card back then. 2000. That was 2000. But that was years that they wanted. What was it? 20. Women bodybuilders. We've gone through, I don't know how much crap. It was like they wanted a 20% less. That was it. I don't know. You probably know because you're not, wouldn't pay attention.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Remember, 20%. What the frig is 20% less muscle? And I can't do that because I need to. I mean, my glutes are always the hardest to come in, so I would always have to be very lean, and so it was crazy. It was like 20% less muscle. Okay. But yeah, so that was heartbreaking. 2000, and so I kept on going. I mean, I don't know. I think the athlete in me was like, and the determination at that point is like, okay, I'm invested in this now. Let's keep on going. And then I had separated from that fellow, and then when I met Bill, that's when I met Bill about 2001 or 2002, and he was so supportive of it because he, he's into the sport. He, great. He goes, let's, keep on going if you want to. So 2001, 2002, there was a couple of years I did take a break, but out of that 25 years, I only took 3 years off.
Cool.
It wasn't like, okay, 10 years off, and now I'm coming back. No, it was the first one was when I had my son in 89 and 87. Then I had a hernia surgery, which wasn't really from lifting. I just have a thin abdominal wall, my doctor said. And I said, that's fine. Probably some from lifting. And then 95, I took off because I did my own gym. I actually had my own gym, a little hardcore 5,000 foot facility called Bayside Fitness. So I've done a little bit of everything. And then, yeah, so those are the only 3 years. And then 2012, I finally hit it. I mean, it was like we were going back to the USA. We were going, and then, of course, then the Masters Nationals came along. Gary, you did. That's 2005. He starts it as a pro qualifier. I said, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. How many girls are going to be? Well, hell no. Like, as you know, they're coming out of the woodwork because we're all quality competitors that have been competing. And the first year, I'm like, oh, I got this. So I get my class, but the heavyweight was, once again, amazing.
You won your class in that?
I won my class, I mean, a few times, but not the overall. It was crazy. And then the other crazy thing I came across was when they started doing the crossovers. So we were all going, what are they going to do with this crossover stuff? If that girl wins, what are they going to do? Well, sure enough, the same girl won the middleweight. I won the light heavyweight, the heavyweight. She gets the overall for the 35 and over. 45 and over comes on. Of course, they're going to give it to her again. So it's like, are you shitting me? I even went as far as to go backstage, and this is not me because I take it with a grain of salt most of the time. I go, hey, Tracy, her name is, you probably could have carried that on. Go, oh no, I deserved it. I'm like, really? I wanted to punch her in the face so bad, but
I hope she's not watching us.
Yeah. Oh my God! But then what they did was they decided, okay, then it'd be second place, and then it got kind of out of hand because there was people that would get their pro card because they're doing these crossovers, and then it ended up like third place would get their pro card, fourth place. But technically,
wow.
they would have, because the other girls, you know, if they didn't cross over. So then he went back to and as of today, they went back to, if you win a pro card, you could get the pro card here, you could get the pro card. So, you know, people, as you know too, again, Vinny, that they would leave a show with 3 pro cards. I'm like, oh my God.
So since you won in 2012,
Yeah.
how have you won any pro shows?
Actually, I did, and I haven't won a pro show. The only pro show I won, you know, because of the Masters in the last year, they've been concentrating on it. Was were you there last year with the Worlds, Gary's Worlds?
Yeah,
So,
I placed 5th in it.
Okay, yeah, because it was I could have done the 45, 55, 40, 56. I just did the 60, you know, and but no. To answer your question, I've been the best placing. It was 2013. I was working with Thackeray, you know, Thackeray Mubarak.
I'm working with Thackeray now.
Oh, that's right. You're working. Yeah, I worked with him in 2013, and that was the biggest I got. I was like, okay, let's go for it. You know.
So wait, I'm confused. How did you place in the world?
Okay, the Worlds I did come in won the 60 and over. Yeah.
You what?
I won it.
Came
So
first.
you did win.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I just wanted to clear that up. Yeah, and so like a lot of people don't realize or know that you're probably, and I think you're very proud of this, you're probably going to be the oldest person in the Masters Olympia at 65.
I think so. There's a couple of men, I think, in your division.
Fred Smalls is 62.
Yeah, there's a couple that were in there.
Well, I was talking about the women.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like two guys that are 61 and 62 or something like that. But no, So
Fred Smalls does not look 62. He still looks like he's 50.
Really, he's in the 60s. I just talked to Fred. Really, he's in the 60s.
Right. You don't even realize because he looks so good.
Yeah, you know. And there was another fellow, I think, another black guy that said he was like 62. But no, 65. I don't think anyone could top that. 65. Yes. I wanted like a special woo award, you know.
So Michelle, let's just say 2000, you're competing 15 years. Did you ever like second guess yourself, or was it just like, I'm getting this damn thing one way or another?
Well, of course, you always get to second guess yourself, but I think, you know, it was just that the determination and the grit because of being, you know, an athlete. And like, I'm not going to give this shit up. You know, I was healthy. I've never had a major, to this day, I've never had a major injury. I've never pulled or torn, or maybe a couple of pulls. I have, just, you know, now, you know, the arthritic thing kind of starting, you know, the knees, the hips, you know, the sciatic. But in all reality, I just like, no, let's just keep on going, you know.
I feel like you're the female version of me.
Yeah, that's what I tell everyone. I swear to God, it's like we've been around forever, and just that grit and determination, man.
I feel like I've always known you guys.
Yeah.
Like every show I go to, I see you guys.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we've always known each other. I don't remember not knowing you and Bill.
Yeah, because when we lived, you know, of course, when we're back east, the first time we were always at the shows, always Steve's shows, and you know, we're always hubbubbing around. And Bill and I, we got the same personality. We're just, you know, he loves to talk to people too, and you know, he being an East Coast guy, you know, he would introduce me to, you know, people too. And
yeah, you guys have always been so nice and cordial and respectful. So it's always been a pleasure to run into you guys.
Yeah. You know, we're just that way. We're just genuine. You know, I'm a fan of, if I'm not competing, I'm still a fan of, you know, bodybuilding, to watch, you know, you or her, you know, a friend, Bill. Bill actually did compete a few times because he had competed way back in like the mid 70s. He's been around doing like 79. You know, he actually. Did you see? He actually won Beth Francis' show in '89. He had the T-shirt on that weekend.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, so my brother-in-law bought the chain and the barbell from my nephew.
Yeah, I love
at the Atlantic States.
All right. Yeah. We have we'll get to that with my stuff, but we have a really good solid stainless steel. Everything's stainless steel, and I if someone wants to have a chain lengthened or shortened, I could do it right there. I have my pliers. I get down and dirty with my pliers. But
so how did you guys get involved in the jewelry business?
What happened was Bill's always been in the car industry. I mean, in the corporate level of car industry, and that's why we've been around and travel a lot. But we were still in Cali. We had a gig there with, I think it was Volkswagen, and I had a friend. That was selling, or she just showed him on Facebook, these, little spiritual onyx, stretch band bracelets. I said, oh, support her. How much do you want for them? She goes, oh, 30. Okay, well, here's the money. So she sent some. One day, there's a little cup of beads and on our toaster, and I'm like, what's this? I go, oh, Bill's like, oh, mine broke. So I said, oh, well, being the creative person I am, I go, well, let me research it and, what kind of band and what's good. And I fixed it. And the rest is history. I was like, well, I could add little dumbbells to this. Well, maybe I could do, like a little creative thing with, a couple rows of beads. And then it started with the beading thing. And then the necklace is what really took off, because everyone, the guys especially, they love those big, thick, necklaces. But they're classy. They're not like real gaudy. They're just solid stainless steel. But that's how I got into it. Yeah, and I didn't really do it as a business, because I did the gym business. It didn't, work out. I had to end up closing it. I didn't want to go corporate, because I did the cookie too. My cookies. I had the magic morsel cookies. I'm Martha Stewart of bodybuilding. I've done it all. I had Michelle's magic morsels for about 10 years, but I didn't really go corporate. It kept it, like kitchen wise, and people loved them at the shows. And then I had just started doing the jewelry, and then I didn't really want to do it as a business. Bill was, doing his thing, and I was like, okay. He goes, we came here to Virginia because of his parents getting older now. So we came here to support them. He's great son. He's always, helping his mom out. So this last year he was in between. He really didn't have anything going in the car industry. So he goes, well, you want to make this a business, like I go, okay, as long as you do the corporate stuff and I do the creating stuff. So it's a great mix. His side of the room has got like all the paperwork. My side's got beads, glue, So yeah, so we just eventually started slowly but surely, making it happen. We do great at the shows. Brent's Bling is always there. Website wise, it's a little harder. It's to get those sales. But Bill, he's determined. He's great. I don't know if you've seen any of his little ads, his little things. He's so funny. It's like, just these little 15-second, little things to advertise, the jewelry. But yeah, that's what I did. This one here is really cool. It's a lot of women like this. It actually floats.
Oh, nice.
And it's just a simple dumbbell. It's nothing fancy, but I do have fancier stuff too. But if someone wants, a certain length, we've got this cool. Come here, Bill, for a sec. I got to show you this one.
Gotta bring the spokesmodel.
This one's crazy. This one's like my double whammy. So yeah.
Why don't you tell me about?
Oh, nice.
This is a big boy necklace.
That's a big boy necklace.
That's the one that my brother-in-law bought my nephew.
Is it? Was it your brother-in-law bought that one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. We go, oh wow.
Huge dumbbell, huge plate. I typically wear things as a test 3 to 4 weeks before I put them on the site, because I want to be sure that when I look somebody in the eye, trust is very important.
Yeah.
And so when I look, I can honestly say sweat-proof, waterproof, gym-proof. I work out in them. I wear them every day. Sometimes, just running errands, and it's amazing how much jewelry I've sold just off my body.
Yeah, because
I always wear something. Today it's an ice chain and the dumbbell one. A couple of bead bracelets as well. Different types, feng shui, dumbbells.
We have all kinds of fun stuff.
Huge.
Oh, this one's nice. This is the big dumbbell one.
Huge dumbbell as well. And
I create them.
I
actually make them. I mean, it's not like I buy them from another seller,
My lovely wife has dumbbell earrings as well.
Earrings.
Turned into HSC here, the Home Shopping Network, for all of a sudden.
The little plate weights and everything.
It's huge. It's huge.
So much, it's
huge.
fun.
It's huge.
I'm very creative.
And my wife is very modest because she does competition jewelry.
Yeah, I sell the jewelry.
But one of the other things she does custom competition jewelry for 3 of the top 5 Olympians as far as matching the colors in their posing suits. Tell them about that. No one else does that.
It's different, and the women have the diamond looking,
All the bling.
Basic, but mine is actually use real crystal beads, and I do a four row, and I'll match the lady's suit to the colors, and then they're gorgeous. Yeah, it's different. It's like some people like them, and some people are like, oh, I just like the little diamond, the bit. So that's fine, that's good. I sell that too, but that is my baby. The passion is there to get the stones that the lady, the suit maker has, and to match them. But
Cool.
I had Hella Trevino was one of the ones I displayed them a lot because she's always top 2, top 3 in Olympia. So,
nice.
But I'll have my own on.
So Michelle, question: how long have you been on the East Coast here?
Well, I came in 20. Well, the first time around it was 25. My son graduated 2004 or 5 in Philly. We started in Philly, and I got the shell shock, because I'm from this gorgeous, beautiful tourist town called Monterey Peninsula in California. Where Carmel is, and they do the golf tournament and all that. That's where I live. Everyone's like, "What the hell are you doing in Philly?" I go, "Well, traveling, following my husband." And then we went back because Bill, once again, with the companies it was with, so we went back to Southern California, which I couldn't stand, and then hit back here. Connecticut was in between too, I think, after Philly, and then we went to Cali, and now we're back here. I never went anywhere. I was like this little hometown girl. I'm like, this has been a ride, but So East Coast, we've been back and forth. We're probably going to end up here for a while because, like I said, Bill's doing the family thing, which, that's what it's all about,
Right. So Michelle, let me ask you, has your training morphed into something different as you've gotten older? Because for myself, as I've competed now in the Masters, I can't train the way I used to train.
Right.
So
right.
have you changed your training? In the last couple of years?
I do have a coach for this. Her name's Gina Cavallero. And I told Gina, I said, listen, I'm going to go by instinct. It has, to answer your question. I never was one to really go heavy, and I really did a lot of squatting in my career. More dumb. I love my dumbbell work, but of course the weights are lower, and the reps are higher now. And more feel, than anything at this point. But yes, it has changed. I don't think I've done a squat or even a Smith squat in 2 or 3 years. I don't know, but
are you staying away from that on purpose?
Yeah, because I don't have any troubles with my knees, but instinctively I'm just not as strong. Your joints. I mean, as the joints are just not as strong. So I do do more the rep thing now. And if I don't feel like working out that day, I'm not going to work out. It's just like feeling my body, how I feel. The cardio, of course, is always there.
Do you have specific rest days that you say, okay, on Wednesdays and Saturdays, I'm taking off? Or you just train until you need a rest day?
I kind of say that it starts that way. But then it's like, okay, like I was saying, I'll go Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday would maybe be a day off. Then okay, well, I feel okay to keep on, train. And then maybe I'll it's just all instinct right now, especially getting ready for, the Masters Olympia and
sure,
not wanting to do anything stupid at this point,
Has your nutrition changed also throughout the last couple of years?
It's gotten better, believe it or not. Like you said, I mean, years ago, we, half the time we didn't know. It was always I was so fearful. I had this, when I had my gym, the guy was, did help me at the time. He had the old school. Do you remember Scott Wilson?
Sure.
Yeah, but God rest his soul, and he helped us with
He passed away.
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he helped us actually with our gym because he knew my partner at the time, so he actually helped us to put it together and paperwork and all that. But it's he just was one to kind of learn from him a little bit, because I didn't really at that point. It was like, okay, I don't know too much about staying on the diet. His diet was chicken, rice, water. It was like a prison diet, and then the 6th day and the 7th day you got to eat whatever you wanted, all day long type thing. And I could never really do that, but it was so strict for those 6 days. It was he developed that saying, just make it simple and it's easier. Just chicken, what was it? Chicken, broccoli, rice, oatmeal. I couldn't even have my crystal light. I was like, are you kidding me? And then as we got along, okay, well, you can get away with, like sauces, now they got all these,
Sugar-free sauces.
Fat-free, 10, calorie sauces, the Flavor Gang, I guess, is that Ross Flanagan. I think that's his company. I've tried his. It's pretty good. It's a little expensive, but so I, learned how to okay, it's okay to have, and the fish and the meat. We always stayed away from meat, no red meat. Now it's like a little of everything. Like I treat it like as if you're eating clean, but not how do I want to put it? But not crazy clean. You know what I mean? It's just like eating less of what I always ate, because I never really go crazy in the off season. I mean, of course, we have our treats and stuff.
Sure. Well, like as you're now older, do you find you have to manipulate carbohydrates differently?
You know what? I've been
Everything's the
so
same.
blessed, Vinny. I never had any issues with of course I went through the change and all that, but digestive problem, never. I mean, knock on wood.
Wow.
I've just
God
stayed.
bless you. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, wow, it's very blessed, because, like I said, I've never had a major injury, never pushed myself enough to. If I felt something in the gym, I was okay, back off. The only thing I did was I was on our honeymoon, believe it or not. we were doing that zip line thing, and I stretched my arm up, and it's not a tear. It's actually the tendon is stretched like a rubber band. So from it's this side, so from the tricep down to the upper lat, I guess, it's just a stretched out tendon, which unfortunately, inhibits the look of my back and stuff, which has been my weakness. But we've been trying so hard this off season and now to really concentrate on my back. But yeah, so and getting back to the nutrition, never, like now I just do a little bit of, no, we don't have any meat in there. It's mostly chicken and fish, and carbs is the same, oatmeal. I'm doing rice, just keeping it basic, And
do you rotate your carbs, or do you just keep a steady baseline?
Excuse me, what was that?
Do you rotate your carbohydrates, or a steady baseline?
It's not a steady baseline. I mean, really, like I said, I my Gina, my coach, I'm like, whatever she puts down, and we really haven't even changed the diet. It's been like the same since we're in 6 weeks, right? We're into 6 weeks of the prep, and it just I'm slowly, losing. No cheats. I mean, I don't really care for a cheat. If I cheat, it's like rice cakes or caramel corn rice cakes, so it's got to be. But yeah, no, I'm very blessed. So I have never issues with stomach bloat, rebound. I mean, of course, there are rebounds, in the past, but I'm too old now to get to do that to myself,
Right. Well, as a professional, we don't go that route. After a show, we don't blow up.
Yeah.
You see a lot of the amateurs doing that.
Yeah, you learn, and like I've learned, because when I first started and I saw, like I said, way back in 85, 86, 87, I saw the women on TV, and I'm like, wow, that's a cool look. Yeah, I know I'm muscular, but I always wanted to lose because I had the, Italian, the hips and thighs, the glutes, So, little did I know, after a show, you gain some of it back. And then it was like, oh dear. But then I learned, as time went on, how to manipulate that, because people are like, Michelle, you always stay so lean. But it's mostly my upper body always, stays pretty lean.
When are you guys planning on heading out to Romania?
We're going to head out that Monday before. It's actually, a full day of travel. So we actually get in Tuesday morning. So I'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We go on Saturday. I think you go on Sunday.
Yes.
But, so I'm going to ask you a question, Vinny. How did you feel when they were like, we were waiting for our list? Wasn't that? I thought it was kind of cool that they did it on, Tarek did it on the Olympia TV. Kind of made it like the NFL draft. We're all waiting.
Yeah. I had so many people contacting me that wanted to jump on the bandwagon to tell me I was invited. I talked to so-and-so and he said, you're invited. And I was like, I'm not listening to this until I see it.
Right.
And then when they pulled that last minute hey, we're not going to do it on Monday. We're doing it on
Right,
Tuesday.
right. I'm like,
Yeah.
You got to be freaking kidding me. You're going to make us wait another day? So then I went to the gym on Monday, and everybody's like, did you get invited? I'm like, no, we got to wait until Monday now. Tuesday. Got to wait until tomorrow. So as I was watching it, they had my name as Vincent Galanti. So I'm always seeing Vinny Galanti. And I read it, and I'm like,
but it's still V at least. Now
but I was looking at Vincent, and I'm like,
Who's this guy?
Right.
Well, who the hell is this dude?
Well, my heart went down to my throat because they always do this. They always pull something crazy, but they always go by your first name alphabetically, not your last name. So Brent, hello. I'm looking at the top of the list. I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, down, and then
I think that's where what I was kind of like maybe confused because I was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then they went with our first name, and I think that's how they're going to announce us on stage. I think we're going on with and I think that's a European thing. I think that's how they do it in Europe.
Oh, but it was like, oh my God, my heart went down in my throat. And then Bill's like, you're there. And I'm like, if I didn't have looked like a scallywag, I would have had him record me like, yay, but I could have done it after the fact. Because some of the people, on the website, they showed how they got it. I thought it was kind of cool,
I would never do. I was not going to record myself.
Yeah.
I just thought that was just like.
I know. I haven't even hardly posted now since I worked my ass off for 3 months posting stuff, and I'm just old school, like okay, I'll post still here and there, but it was very, very what's a word? Of course, just heartfelt because, as 35 years, 37 waiting, took so long to get the pro card. And as a pro, like you were saying, what shows have I won? Well, I was already in my 50s. What the hell? How am I gonna? I mean, I can hold my own, but the women are phenomenal in the pros, and the best I did with FAC was 2013, and I was still not top 10. It was 12th at the Toronto. That was the year they had 25 women, and then Chicago the same year. That was my best. It was my top 10. So I was all excited. I made the top 10, which it's kind of worrying me. I mean, I should not feel worried, but only the top 10 pose in Olympia. So I had emailed Alina and I said, hey, this is the Masters, the first year. Why don't you just bring down a minute for each routine and let everyone pose, man? The routine. I know there's a lot.
I don't like that at all. You can't be in the Olympia and pose for 60 seconds.
Right.
I'll tell you, that would have been a game. That would have been a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. So I just determined that I have to make the top 10, because I always have that little in my own, but I'm like, nah, I gotta make that top 10, man, So I'm just thrilled because I
don't even Michelle, don't even worry about the little things. Just focus on you getting the
shape. I know.
That's all.
I know.
Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the trip. Enjoy getting there and and having the best time that you can.
Right. I know. I just waited so long for this. As you, it's just, man, I just want to be on that big stage, because then I asked Alina, I go, is prejudging also on that same big stage? Because usually, the prejudging for the women's, I was like an expo or something. She goes, oh no, everything's done on that stage. The crowd won't be as big, but still the fact that, it's an actual huge auditorium.
I think the prejudging is going to be packed.
Well, that's why I was okay with going to Romania because they have a great fan base out there. I mean,
they do.
It's still new, and they're so enthusiastic. Yeah. So I'm excited. I mean,
I started talking to a guy from Romania that's gonna pick me up from the airport and take me food shopping into the gym and stuff. And he was telling me that you have no idea what you guys are going to experience with the fan base here.
Yeah, well,
that's going to be cool.
I found out because when we had the booth at we did the Masters and the North American. I think it was a North American, and there was a gal from Spain, and she had helped Jake, the Wins of Strength team, expediting, helping. And she goes, "Oh no, Michelle, it's amazing out there. No, they're so into it, and they treat you great." And so I said, "Okay," because there was some people like, "Oh, Romania," and then of course, going to make a little vacation out of it. So, but I'm kind of excited that it's not in the United States. For some reason, it's just like it's just something different.
So,
Yeah,
Michelle, when you heard the announcement or the rumblings of the Masters Olympia coming back,
yeah.
did you think about it, or would you say I'm in? Like Vinny didn't even think about it. Vinny's like I'm in.
Oh no,
Did
no,
you
yeah,
think
no,
about it?
yeah. That's why I'm sure Vinny, we did the same thing. I knew that they were having they started adding the Masters division to the Savannah, to Chicago. So it's like you knew they were building it up. So that's why I did 6 damn shows last year, and I won. The only one I didn't win is Tampa in my 50 and over, but I won like Rich's Baltimore at the end of the year. Savannah, I came in third. That was my best competitive lineup. So I knew, I was building myself up doing these shows because I knew when we had to do this letter, when you have to do your history and all that. But I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of them finally announcing it. So, I don't know how the selection was a little different because it was an invite because they did pick peoples that from different countries. Of course, they wanted to do that, but. So no. To answer your question, Sean. No, I said I'm in. I better be in. Damn it! I don't care where it's at. I don't care if it's Timbuktu, wherever.
Yeah, and you guys hit it on the head because if you look at the competition list now in Europe, they're growing exponentially. Like there's so many IFBB shows out there. It just shows how popular it's getting in Europe in general.
Oh yeah, it's crazy because it's everywhere. I mean, they've done a great job with the MPC worldwide, and holding shows in different countries, and the enthusiasm is so much more enhanced because it's different there, and like even the Middle East where that's a big blow, crazy, just bodybuilding,
yeah.
even women, because it's like different. It's like it's like starting all over again, kind of like when we first had Kano came out. When it came out, we were on ESPN. I got to see myself like, oh, you're on TV, and it was like a quick blurt of my routine, on ESPN, so it's not quite that getting there yet, but I don't know if I ever will. But we got our niche, Ben, huh? We love it. It's just something, the passion that that finally. Corny but true, the dream come true thing. Because here, like, I got my T-shirt on, Benny.
I love it.
I made them. Yeah, I got the Olympia on the back. I took the logo and T-shirts and stuff.
I'm going to hire you to market me.
What's that?
I'm going to hire you to market me.
There you go. Yeah, hell yeah. I said I wanted to make you a shirt. You guys still give me your good picture, the one that you like, and then.
I actually just made shirts up.
Okay.
Which are awesome.
Yeah, I'll give you one when we get there, or when.
Yeah. And then I did, like I said, these little medallions because they're in the oval shape. It's about a 30. It goes by millimeters, and it's my name, and then 2023, and then up goes Masters Olympia. I don't use a logo or anything as long as I don't technically sell them. It's okay because I'm supposed to not have the rights to using the logo or whatever, but. It just says the words, But so I'm excited. I got the T-shirt. I got a couple. I got a couple that are coming too that own a gym in Delaware, and Chris Hollins and Michelle Bowers, and they are coming. They wanted to always go to Romania. It was so bizarre that it just this is like everything's falling in line. So they're actually going to come. So I have a couple little fans,
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, your wife's coming, right, Vinny? Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Coming later. So you're gonna go in the very beginning of the week too.
I'm actually leaving on Friday, the 18th.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm getting in on Saturday, the 19th, and
it takes.
I'm not really good with jet lag.
Okay.
So I know I'm gonna be a mess for like 4 days. No, I'm being serious because. When we've gone to Italy to see family, like I'm not good for at least by the 4th day. I'm starting to.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
around.
I'm not so bad with it. But just in precaution because that's a big flight. It's 11 hours. Well, we have 3 hours in Germany, but technically it's an 8-hour flight. But
you're going to be staying over in Munich?
Lex is my friend, so I got all my shows. I'm just going to zone out. Bill bought me some Bose headphones in case there's some screaming meanie kid the whole flight. But yeah, I'm excited. It's like wow.
Is
And
your layover in Munich?
yeah. Is it?
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, German. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
Michelle,
cool.
I want to share a comment that someone shared on the side here. Someone, Dave Thomas. I don't know if either of you know this individual. He said,
No.
"Wow, what a woman still competing at 65. That's amazing. I'm only
Oh, look at
I'm
that.
only 60 and going for my second knee replacement. So much respect for this woman of iron."
Like you said, I'm very blessed. I have a great, Bill and I have been married 19 years, no stress, in relationship, and always had a, very even keel life. Just very, very, I keep saying it, blessed and thankful. And, and just being an athlete in general, you have that mindset, and just focus more, work, I've always focused. Bill's, always taught me how to, stay focused, and he always has these little quotes and everything. And, so it's been great. It'll be a good ride, Benny. I think I'm just, whatever happens, right? Just boom, let's just represent.
Yeah, you said, we both would just do our best. As long as we leave no stone unturned.
Right.
In our training, in our nutrition, we get there and we present the best that we can.
Yep.
And that's all we could ask,
That's all.
I think you and I have had parallel careers a little bit.
Yeah.
Were you in the 93 USA?
93, because I know my 93. I think
Denise Rakowski won the overall.
No, I didn't do it with Denise. The 93 I was that was USA. It wasn't another North American. I think I did the nationals that year. Because I was always
I did the USA that year, and I won my class in that.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Because I would always go USA, or let's come to nationals, or let's the North American, of course, a million times. And then when the Masters came in 2005, the North American was always my fallback, because I didn't get it again, so let's 4 weeks later would be whatever, the North American, and that's why I would always concentrate on that one. But that year I think a national show. I have my history, so I usually know most of my history. But
Michelle, if they had today's rules, and Vinny and I talked about this, if they had today's rules at the competitor shows, back when you competed, you would have been a pro 30 years ago, because they get pro cards for second and third place.
What's up with that, then, huh? The national, the biggest show of the year, amazing, like elite show, and they give second place a trophy. I mean, I
get that. I get that question all the time, and I say, okay, let's say at the 93 USA, when I win my weight class, I get a pro card.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you my career would have been done and over 20 years ago.
Right.
I would have had a 10-year span of being a pro.
Yeah.
And it would have ended around 2003-ish.
Right? I know. That's funny you say that, because you think about it myself. It's like, yeah, and then like I said, I've seen people come and go, people wanting that pro card so bad, finally get it, never doing the show. And here I'm like, what the hell? And like I said, I think we both pretty much have the same kind of career. I mean, and just kept going and was determined. You had a great career. I mean, you had a great presence, meaning you were popular, as an amateur. I mean, you were in magazines, and
I was very blessed. I worked my ass off too, Michelle, to get into those magazines. And we've talked about this on another podcast, where I would actually put together a packet and sell myself to the magazines.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was fortunate and blessed, because I worked hard to get into the magazines and get on covers.
Right.
And I've had a fortune to travel around the world and guest pose and do seminars.
Yeah.
So you and I both were acting like professionals when we were amateurs.
I just was going to say that. I was like, I thought you were a pro, and I said, when did Vinny get his pro card, man? He's like, because I followed your career, of course, too.
2008 at the Masters National.
Back then, I knew. Now I don't I know maybe a few of the top men, but it's just you knew everybody. I just knew everybody. I mean,
I learned something from Rich Gaspari many years ago. I don't remember if I read this or if I heard him actually say it. He said the quote. I think I read it. The people you meet on the way up are the same people you meet on the way down.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So I always try to just be professional as much as I can.
Right.
Look, you always run into somebody who's a pro and they're having a bad day, but that doesn't mean you judge them that way, right? So
right.
I've had my bad days throughout the years and stuff, but for the most part, just like you just be positive and you conduct yourself professional, and sometimes it is what it is, and you don't question why did I place good or why did I place bad. You just go home and go back to work, so
of course I would say, well, wow, that was a year of Bill with someone. Wow, you should have won. Yeah, okay, well I didn't, so let's back to square one and let's like start all over again. And that's a true athlete. I don't know if he's played sports, and I mean, it was just like grit and grind, and determine. I don't know all the adjectives you could pull out there, or what I represent. Never give up.
Unlike you, I've had my share of injuries.
Yeah,
but the grit and the determination has always been there. Like, so when you talk about Michelle Brent, it's like that chick never gives up. So it's like, I've talked about to other people, like, yeah, Michelle's going into the Masters Olympian, and like, man, she's been plugging away for years. And I'm like, yeah, I just found out that it took her 25 years, and I was bragging that it took me 16 years.
Yeah. Oh, I love the one. Yeah, that's because that's what I'm saying. Finally, maybe I get a little bit of notoriety. That's like, you don't know my. I need a special award for just the determination, and how the Olympia they have this, achievement award, and I'm like, hey. I don't know. It's crazy. Some people think I'm crazy or whatever, or but she has no life, But that's the beauty of it, because I do have a life. I have what I love to do, and my life besides that. So
I think you have a great attitude. You have a great attitude, positive, and it rubs off, and you can only walk away from you feeling good about yourself. So thank you for that.
And then, like I said, I'm always a fan of other athletes, be it beginner, because I've done some training. My forte was I still do a couple here or there. Is the choreography part of like the routine, which I'm gonna have a fantastic one if I can get that top 10. But anyway,
stop saying that. You're gonna be in the top 10.
I know. I need to come and train with you. Let's do. I need to come and train and like get a.
Where are you now? Where are you guys?
What's that?
Virginia.
Where are you based out of right now?
We're in Herndon. It takes about 4 hours. I don't know what part of Jersey. Because it takes us 4 hours to get.
Where I saw you at the Atlantic States, I live 15 minutes away from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it takes us about 4 hours. What I want to do, Vin, which I am going to do, because we're going to go see our friends Leanne and Lou in Long Island, and another gal. But I want to go to Steve's. We should do it together that same day. I'm
going there Saturday.
You going there Saturday? Okay.
Saturday.
I'm definitely going to make the trip. Yeah. I told Steve when we were at I think it was New York Pro, because we went to go see that. And I said, Steve, you get to judge me one more time.
Hey, Michelle, as we start to wind down, Sean's going to throw you some questions.
Okay.
That are a little off the cuff here.
Sure.
So I'm going to steal one out of Vinny's book. You mentioned you're Italian.
I knew you were going to say it.
Is you sauce or is it gravy?
Oh, it's always sauce. No. Are you kidding me? It's like real tomatoes. It's got to have a little bit of sugar. It's real sauce. It's got to be
It's
red.
a good one, Vin. I had to recycle it.
Yeah, see, my mom, who was Millie said if there's meat in it, if there's braciole, sausage, and meatballs, it's gravy.
Okay.
Without it, it's sauce.
Okay. Yeah, because my mom.
That's how we grew up.
My mom would make the meatballs, but separately. And if we wanted to put them in there, no, I take that back. She would always throw them in there. Oh my God, they like melt in your mouth. But it's always.
Right, we can't talk about that. We're dieting right now.
I know.
Go an apple rice cake.
So what's your
dog or a cat person?
I'm a cat person. I love dogs, but we got 3 babies running around here. My cats, which are like dogs because they follow me everywhere. And
nice.
My black and white Vinny, she, like I was telling you, I have my garage gym, and she's there with me, like so. Well, she wants to be petted, that's why. But I'll do my cardio, and she's like sitting on the seat there, hanging out with me. So I'm a cat person. Yeah.
Cool.
If you could go back in time, what's the one piece of advice you'd give yourself? If you could go back in time,
what's the one piece of advice you would give yourself?
whether it's life, bodybuilding, anything in general?
That I would give myself.
Yeah.
Just staying like with positive, with things like I can't get a little negative on world things that happen or whatever, and just like the weight of the shoulder, type thing, in past situations. But just make it roll off me now. But it's just I think I'm too old for anything.
Yep, too old for bullshit, right?
Right.
So Michelle, where can the viewers contact you, find you to maybe order some jewelry?
Instagram, everything.
Yeah, Instagram. I have the I have to be Michelle Brent, but it's called Brent's Bling. Brent's Bling is and Bill's is Brent's Bling It on Instagram. And then we have, of course, the site is easy. It's brentsbling.com. So, but we always have specials. I think we have a Father's Day special going on right now.
Bling Dad 15.
Bling Dad 15, Bill said.
I'm gonna have to order that medallion with my name and the master.
You do. Come on, man. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's kind of like a dog tag. It's kind of cool.
I like that.
Yeah. And what I'm doing is I'm going through all the lists and then private message, the people. Like I went through Women's Physique World, and I'm going to go through fitness. I'll go through the men too and see, if they do, they do. They don't, it's just.
So I'm telling you right now, make me one. I will buy it.
Okay. And then I'll just, it's like $15 because I don't put unless you want me just to put a simple chain on it. But,
I want the chain and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Vinny's has to have a real 25-pound plate on it, though.
This one's a little thin, but I like it because it's oval. Like how the Olympia's in that oval.
Nice.
But yeah. Just a name in 2023, and then Masters, Olympia. I mean, I wanted to put the logo on the back, but they couldn't do it, which was fine because I don't know if I was able to, but
right.
Yeah. I know there's another jeweler that has the rights to that, like the IFBB MPC logos and stuff through Jim Mannion. They had it on a handshake. So that's all good because I don't have to be committed to have jewelry that says MPC IFBB on it. I could just do it, But yeah, I'll make you one, Ben. Yeah, sure. That'd be cool.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, my man.
And after the Olympia, we'll have to have you back on.
Yeah, well, we might have, like I said, we'll stay in contact. Maybe I'll throw down 4 hours and come train where you train at. And
absolutely, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
Michelle, it's truly been a pleasure. I truly wish you all the best. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor.
Yeah.
And again, good luck and Godspeed.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Oh my God, keep on grinding, man.
You too, Michelle. Good night, and God bless. And
okay.
And for all the listeners, thank you so much. Next week, Adela Garcia. Thank you so much.
Adela, I love Adela.
All right, good night, guys.
Bye now.
Bye.